Hello, everyone. Welcome to the SavvyCast. This is Jamie, and I'm thrilled that you're joining today, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast. I am thrilled today about my guest. I have joining me today Katina Mountanos. She is the founder and CEO of one of my absolute favorite brands, Kosterina. If you follow me at all on social media, you will almost inevitably see me reaching for my Kosterina EVOO or whipping up a fabulous dressing with one of the wonderful vinegars. So Katina is joining us today to share all things about her brand, Kosterina, which is a wellness brand centered around high antioxidant extra virgin olive oil and more broadly the Mediterranean diet. Her mission at Kosterina is to help people live longer, more delicious lives through her line of flavorful olive oils, velvety vinegars, high probiotic olives, and more. And I'm so thankful that as we start 2025, we will have much wisdom and advice from Katina. So without further ado, I would love to welcome to the SavvyCast, Katina Mountanos. Katina, thank you so much for joining me today on the SavvyCast.
Thank you for having me, Jamie. So excited to be here with you.
Well, I have been looking so forward to this episode. I have a million questions, but I want to start with my typical icebreaker question that I ask every guest, and that is, what would you choose as your last meal?
Oh my gosh, it's a little on brand and a little off brand, but my last meal would definitely be macaronia me kima, which is basically Greek style spaghetti bolognese. So
Oh,
think like mountain of spaghetti, which we
oh.
try to do, low gluten in terms of us talking about the modern Mediterranean diet. But I would definitely choose a mountain of spaghetti topped with a Greek bolognese sauce and a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top. That's definitely my favorite meal.
Okay. Is there any way we can find a recipe to that? I
Oh
only
yes, for sure. We have our bolognese, our Greek bolognese sauce in the Kosterina kitchen, which is our recipe Rolodex on our website. So for sure, we'll make sure to link that.
Wonderful. And I'm also going to mention, since we're on your recipes,
Mhm.
I'm going to link in the show notes as well to Kosterina Kitchen, this cookbook that I purchased from you all. It is wonderful as well, but you have different recipes that are not in the cookbook on your website.
For sure. Yeah, we have hundreds of recipes in the Kosterina kitchen section of the recipes on our website, for sure.
That is wonderful. Well, Katina, can you start by telling us about just growing up in a Greek family? What is that like, and how's it different from the typical American family today?
Yes, for sure. So I am Greek American. I grew up in New York, but I actually spent a lot of time also in my dad's hometown of southern Greece. It's a town called Koroni. It's on the southernmost point of mainland Greece. And actually, my mother worked for an airline for her whole professional career. And so we actually flew for free. And we got to go to Greece, 3, 4 times a year, which normally we probably wouldn't have been able to do that. So I did spend a lot of time in this very small Greek fishing town. My grandfather was a fisherman. He would bring home fresh fish every day, and my grandmother would cook it with two things, olive oil and lemon. And I just kind of grew up with olive oil being the centerpiece of the table and mealtime being the center of family. Both in Greece, but also here in New York, food was everything. My father owned a restaurant, and the conversation was consistently around Greek food and eating whole foods and that Mediterranean way of living and eating.
So your father, does he still own the restaurant?
He actually now owns a catering hall for weddings, so still very much in the food business. But yeah,
What is the name of his catering hall? And we
oh,
can,
it's called Larkfield. It's based in Suffolk County in Long Island.
wow,
Yeah,
okay. Only olive oil and lemon. That's it.
yeah, that's it. That's it.
So how would that just be a skillet prepared fish? Like she prepared everything the same way with that, or
Um,
was it marinated?
Various, it depended on the fish. It depended on the fish. There was also a lot of shellfish. My grandfather would bring home all sorts of seafood, of course. So there was a lot of shrimp, octopus, grilled octopus is huge in Greece, especially in
Mhm.
southern Greece. But yeah, white fish, either baked or in the skillet with olive oil and lemon was really a staple. My grandmother also made avgolemono, oil, which is a fish soup, also made with egg. And it's just creamy and delicious. And it's like a Greek staple for sure.
Well, I want to start by saying I have a whole pile of all of my Kosterina products, but your staples are your extra virgin olive oils.
Mhm.
Can you tell us, and I've researched and that's how I found you. You came up very quickly as the best quality EVOO that is available with the highest, is it polyphenols?
That's right.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, our core extra virgin olive oils are the hero products in our line, and everything else is really an extension of that. And so our two hero olive oils are the white bottle original extra virgin olive oil, which Jamie's holding up here, and then
Mhm.
also our everyday extra virgin olive oil, which is organic certified. It's the blue bottle here behind me, if you can see. And the difference between those two olive oils is actually, I should just explain what high polyphenol content means. So
Mhm.
when you harvest an olive early, which means you take it off the tree before it's ripe, while it's still green, you maximize the polyphenol content. Polyphenols are antioxidants that have been proven to reduce the risk of all chronic disease, cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, heart disease. What those polyphenols are doing essentially are just fighting inflammation in the body anywhere it's brewing. So just a super healthy addition to your everyday diet. It
Mhm.
also makes the olive oil taste amazing. So that
Mhm.
early harvest extra virgin olive oil is just very potent. And the way that it's been explained to me through our farmer partners is that olive oil trees are very stressed when they're growing. And so they're stressed because there's not a lot of water, there's a lot of heat, a lot of sun. Olive trees can actually live up to thousands of years. I've actually seen in person olive trees that have been 3,000 years old, which is amazing. And what they're doing as they're stressed and still growing is developing these antioxidants to protect the olive itself. And so
Mhm.
we get the benefit of when we take that off the tree and squeeze it, we get those antioxidants into our body.
That is
Yeah,
amazing.
it's kind of amazing when you think about it.
Well, can you tell us the difference in the blue bottle and the
Mhm.
white bottle? Because
Yeah,
I will
absolutely.
say I actually do not have a blue bottle on hand right now, so
Mhm.
I'm currently just using the original.
Mhm. Mhm.
What's the difference?
Yeah, so the white bottle original extra virgin olive oil is ultra high in polyphenol content. So it's the earliest harvest olive oil. It's the most potent. Now, when you wait till slightly later in the harvest, you get more juice out of the olive. An ultra early harvest olive gets a little bit of juice out. It's super potent in terms of those polyphenols. And so that white bottle clocks in over 600 milligrams per kilogram of polyphenol content. Just to put that in perspective, if you measure the traditional supermarket shelf, the average polyphenol content will be 55 milligrams per kilogram.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
so think 8 to 12 times more. Now, our blue bottle falls somewhere in between. It's still early harvest, still high in polyphenol content. It's usually around 350 to 400 milligrams per kilogram of polyphenol content. But what we do is we wait slightly later into the harvest and then harvest the olive. And
Hmm.
that allows us to get to a more accessible price point. So that white bottle is like for drizzling and dipping, and anytime temperature is not applied. And we recommend the blue bottle for anytime you're cooking with it, you need larger amounts, or you've got a recipe that calls for half a cup of olive oil.
Is the smoke point different for either of those?
They're both very high. So the smoke point for both is around 430 degrees Fahrenheit.
Well, I do get questions because I basically use the EVOO for everything. I've been using it
Mhm.
for baking,
And you
for
can, absolutely.
well, I have a lot of people say that you shouldn't use it on the hibachi because it might, or do you differ with that? And I would totally
I
defer to
do. I do differ with that. And there's science behind it, more modern research. So the myth that you cannot cook with extra virgin olive oil has proliferated for far too long. Now, the myth actually came from the fact that the olive oil in this country, the quality of it was very poor. And it actually did have a low smoke point. But when you have a very robust early harvest extra virgin olive oil, it actually has a very high smoke point. And there's a study that I'm also happy to share, done by ACTA. It's from 2018, and it actually proves that it's not the smoke point that matters. It's actually the level of free radicals emitted when temperature is applied in deciding what type of oil to cook with. Now, canola oil has a lot of free radicals emitted when temperature is applied, which is sad because the US consumer has been told to cook and bake with canola oil forever. And,
Mhm.
you know, being Greek, when I hear don't cook with olive oil, I'm like, what does one cook with if not with olive oil? It made no sense to me. But actually, olive oil has been proven to be one of the best choices for cooking oil because of the minimal level of free radicals emitted when temperature is applied.
Let's say we have the blue bottle and the white bottle, and I want to bake a cake. You would use the blue bottle.
Yep.
But I have made a cake recently with the
Yep.
white bottle, and it's fine. It's just it's a little more pricey product. There,
Exactly.
okay. And I have noticed because I mean, I go through, I would say a bottle every 2 to 3 weeks because I use it for everything.
Yes.
And I don't want to try to describe the flavor. I know in my head, but I want to use the right terms. How would you describe the flavor of this? It's not the strong peppery that some olive oils tend to be. How would you describe it?
Yeah, so a few things there. So one thing I will say is that the blue olive oil, the everyday, does have a more mild flavor. So if you're baking something that you want to taste like olive oil, like an olive oil cake, I would say you're fine using white or blue. But if you want a more mild flavor that's not going to be, you know, super evident that it's olive oil, I would go with the blue. Okay. And then with the flavor, the white is quite robust, but it doesn't overpower your food. So the variety of extra virgin olives, or the variety of olives that we use, are called Koroneki. Koroneki, actually, my dad's hometown that I was mentioning earlier is called Koroni. So actually, this seed and tree originate from my father's hometown, which is kind of funny. But we use only Koroneki variety of olives. The reason we love the Koroneki variety is because it has a naturally mild flavor and an ultra high natural polyphenol content. So you get the best of both worlds. It's not super peppery. It's not doesn't have that bite. But when
Hmm.
you do sip an early harvest extra virgin olive oil plain, so if you just take a sip of that white bottle with, you know, no food, you should actually get a slight burn at the back of your throat. That's the signal that the polyphenols are in that olive oil.
Okay. Well, see, I'm always just putting mine in something. I've never
Yes.
actually sipped it, but
Yes.
I'll definitely.
Yeah, sometimes people take a shot of olive oil every morning, and you should get like a little bit of a pepperiness at the back of your throat, and that's actually a really good sign.
Okay, now that is interesting. So take a shot. How much would that be? And you're like saying they do that as a supplement.
Yes, people do it as a supplement. They have it first thing in the morning for the antioxidant content and for the healthy fats. It's also been proven to aid digestion.
Would that take the place of taking an omega-3 supplement?
No, omega 3s are different. Olive oil is actually omega 9s. So you still
Oh,
want to take your fish oil supplements, very
okay.
important for brain health. But yes, this is in addition to that. But if
That's
you're
right.
consuming it on your in your meals, then you
Mhm.
don't have to do that. If you're putting it on your lunch salad, if you're pouring it over your chicken or you're marinating in it every day, you're good.
Well, Katina, can you tell us, because it's the beginning of the year, beginning of 2025, and so many of us are very, very committed to doing the best we can with our diets.
Mhm.
You reference the modern Mediterranean diet
Mhm.
and how that is actually easier than many of us might think. Can
Mhm.
you tell us what is the modern Mediterranean diet and how can we start implementing that into our everyday?
Yeah. No, I'm so glad you asked. We've coined the term modern Mediterranean diet, and the way that we define it is the traditional Mediterranean diet, which is very plant forward, still incorporates meat and fish and chicken, but very plant forward. So a wide variety, eat the rainbow of fruits and vegetables every single day, lots of salads, lots of roasted veggies. But we suggest more protein than what's typically expected in the modern Mediterranean diet, because especially as we age, we need more protein in order to maintain our lean muscle mass.
Mhm.
And the second edit that we make to the traditional Mediterranean diet is less gluten. So you
Mm.
may have heard that in Italy and Greece, people go and they eat, you know, even people who are sensitive to gluten here in the US can go there and eat everything that they used to eat and it doesn't bother them. The honest truth is we've sort of destroyed our farming systems here in the US. Our wheat has been compromised. Unfortunately, gluten is inflammatory to almost 80% of the population, if not more. And so we recommend, you know, going lower on gluten here. So, you know, if you're going to have pasta, go for gluten-free pasta, or focus on things that don't have, you know, that are not wheat-based like rice, to
Mhm.
get carbs.
Well, so if someone wanted to start the modern Mediterranean, each meal or each larger meal, whether it were lunch or dinner, would you say a protein and then maybe a green vegetable and maybe a lower starch vegetable? What's a typical plate at your dinner
Yeah,
time?
something typical, which is super easy. And, you were asking about recipes earlier. So our, chicken thighs marinated in Kosterina Greek herb and lemon extra virgin olive oil is super easy because you don't have to even use much. So I marinate our chicken thighs in the Greek herb and lemon olive oil. We haven't talked about our flavors yet. You can also marinate in the garlic if you want a more garlic forward chicken. And then we also have a spice blend called Greek Town. It's oregano, salt, and pepper. I think there might be a little bit of onion in there too. And so I literally just marinate in those two things and either put them on the grill or in the skillet. And then the side is like rice and broccoli. And that's just a very, very typical, super simple, easy meal in my house.
I'm glad that you brought up the different flavored oils because I want
Mhm.
to quickly brush through the
Yeah.
different products and how to use them. So I've shown the original, and then we have the everyday. So you've explained how to use those. The garlic and then the lemon herb. I have them in my counter, but I'm not going to stand up to go get them.
Yep.
I will say they are fabulous and they are, you do not need, if you're out of lemons, it's okay
Mhm.
if you've got your lemon
Yes.
because and how do you get such a robust lemon flavor to be shelf stable?
Yeah, it's actually really amazing the way we do the citrus. So the lemons are actually crushed in the malaxer. That's actually the machine that's crushing the olives at the
Mhm.
same time as the olives. So we literally put whole Greek lemons in, and it basically gets squeezed into the lemon oil, like the essence of the lemon, and that goes into the olive oil at the same time that we're pressing the olives.
So technically, you could marinate chicken breasts or thighs in the lemon olive oil, and you do not have to get lemons out or any seasonings, maybe salt and pepper, and you
Yeah.
will have flavorful seasoned chicken.
Yep. No, it really is. And I always add Greek oregano. So that's another part of the marinating process, but that's in the Greek town spice. So for me, it's literally just the Greek herb and lemon olive oil, Greek town spice, shake it up, and you're basically done.
I need that spice. I'm going to get that.
Yeah, we'll send you some for sure. It's so good.
Okay. So, and also I want to hold this up. I have been using this to roast
Hmm.
veggies, saute. This is Green Goddess that you collaborated with Baked by Melissa. This is
Yes.
fabulous. Can you tell us about this?
Yeah, so the Green Goddess olive oil, we created in partnership with Baked by Melissa. So Melissa Benishai, who was famous for her cupcakes, but then became, social media famous for her Green Goddess salad and Green Goddess salad dressing. And the main ingredient in her Green Goddess salad dressing is basil. So actually, we've taken our Greek herb and lemon olive oil and our garlic, merged it together, added basil, to really mimic the Green Goddess salad dressing that Melissa makes. And so you can actually make her salad dressing with much fewer ingredients because all the flavors are already in there.
And what are some other ways? I do roasted veggies and so
Hmm.
forth. I've also made a homemade pizza crust and I
Mm.
roast this on. Are there just, if you just want a more flavorful EVOO, you could reach for this. It's just
Yes,
got basil undertones.
it really is like a salad dressing. Like you can just pour that. You really don't need much of anything else, and you've got an amazing salad dressing. It's got the basil, the onion, the garlic, the lemon. It's all kind of in there. All your flavors are there. And then definitely chicken marinade. We, alternate between the Greek herb and lemon and the Green Goddess for marinating chicken.
Okay, that is amazing. I'm learning so many new ways to use products. Now let's talk about your vinegars.
Hmm.
These are amazing. And I want you to, I learned something new. I just learned that you can actually sip these vinegars. There are many ways to use these. Let's start with salad dressings, though.
Hmm.
How I have a favorite. I'm going to link to it in the show notes, but I use the crushed strawberry. But what are some ways that can these different flavored vinegars substitute for any other vinegar in a salad dressing where there's a ratio of oil to vinegar?
Yes, they absolutely can. And I can't see exactly what you have there, but we do have two different types of vinegars. We got a line of dark balsamics. There's an original, which is great. All our dark balsamics are perfect for salads
Mhm.
or marinades.
Okay.
Like we marinate meat in like a skirt steak in the original balsamic all the time. So we've got an original, we've got a fig flavor, which has a hint of sweetness. Figs are very native to southern Greece. We actually have fig trees on our property, so we really wanted to bring that flavor forward. And then we have a walnut balsamic, which is great for anything like with cheese when you want a nutty flavor. And then we have a dark chocolate balsamic. The dark chocolate is slightly different. I would actually recommend that on like Greek yogurt or fresh raspberries or ice cream. It's more of like a dessert quality because you've got that chocolate flavor.
Yes. Okay.
So those are the dark balsamics.
Okay. So the apple cider balsamic.
Mhm. Yep. And so what you've got there is our line of white balsamics. And so
Okay.
our white balsamics were developed actually in response to the trend of a lot of people drinking apple cider vinegar for health reasons. And so if you know anything about that, people drink apple cider vinegar because it's been proven to stabilize blood sugar. So instead of a massive insulin spike after, a carb heavy meal, this will actually decrease the size of your glucose spike. It also increases satiety, so you end up eating less. So when we worked with our partners in developing the line of white balsamics, we of course wanted them to be great for salads, marinades, and dressings, but we also wanted them to be drinkable. And so any of those, if you like the flavor of them, you could sip it without anything at all, just to determine which flavor is your favorite. And then you can put it into seltzer for a little mocktail. And you get all those benefits of drinking vinegar. We follow closely the glucose goddess. If you or any of your followers
Yes.
of her,
Yes.
she talks about drinking vinegar and all the benefits of that and stabilizing glucose levels. And so these will have the same benefit, same effect, but they taste so much better than apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is just like very unpalatable in my opinion.
I made a slaw with this that
Mm-hmm.
called for apple cider, and I made it with this. People were asking me, "What is this dressing?"
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. It's literally amazing. I haven't sampled it yet as far as tasting it just
Yeah,
straight, but so many people were complimenting that dressing. So,
I
and
love it.
it would be the same, say, with the crushed blueberry, any of these crushed.
Yeah, and so those are just great as salad dressings too. If you mix it with our original extra virgin olive oil and one of those vinegars, and depending on what type of salad you're making. So if it's summer and you're making a salad with fresh strawberry, or if it's fall and you're making a salad with pear, maybe you want to use the cucumber lemon. That's also super fresh. Like we get the same, anytime I'm using it, I get the same reactions as you. People are like, what is in this dressing? It just adds this incredible like tangy meets sweet hint of flavor that really just adds depth to whatever you're serving.
So if let's say we're coming up on spring, and let's
Mhm.
say there's a spring salad with some strawberries or blueberries, maybe get the strawberry vinegar or the
Mhm.
blueberry vinegar, and what ratio of vinegar and you would, I assume, use your everyday, or it wouldn't matter which of your EVOOs, would
I
it?
would use the white. I would use the original
Okay.
for a salad dressing because no
Okay.
temperature is applied. And I would
Okay.
probably do like 3 to 1, 3 parts olive oil, 1 part vinegar. Shake
Okay.
it up, and you're good to go. And I think the one that you don't have in front of you that I'd also recommend is the cucumber lemon. And that is just out of this world for salads, my favorite.
Okay, so, and I'm going to, for all of you watching or listening, I'm going to write down that ratio. So you're telling me it's the two ingredients and that's it.
That's
You don't
it.
have to pull out. Oh my goodness. That is
Yep.
amazing. That's a
Mhm.
game
Yes.
changer.
It is. It's so easy. And everyone is always like, can you make a dressing, Kosterina? We'd love for you to make a dressing. And we're like, this is your dressing. Like you just need this olive oil and this vinegar. And they don't mix in a bottle. So here they are.
So just on that note of, when you make let's see, EVOO or any oil, as far as the emulsification,
Mhm.
can you just shake it, or do you need to, drizzle it in with
Oh, you could just shake it. You could just shake it.
okay.
Yeah. And the only time I'm mixing anything else is if I want like a really creamy dressing, like a tahini, adding a tahini for a tahini flavor or like a mustard. Those are really the only times I'm adding anything else to the olive oil and vinegars.
I saw the other day, I happened to be in Target and I saw some Costerina on the shelves.
Yes.
Tell everyone where else you are besides online,
Mhm.
where people can have sample your product.
Mhm. Yeah, well, the whole line, of course, is available on Kosterina.com. And then Whole Foods nationally, every store of Whole Foods has almost all of our line. And
Mhm.
so all our olive oils are available there. And well, all our extra virgin olive oils are available there. The flavors are in some regions, but not others. And then all of our vinegars are there. We have 8 vinegars on shelf at Whole Foods. And then we also have a line of olives, which I'll tell you about separately, but those are also in Whole Foods. And
Mhm.
we just recently launched in 3 additional retailers. So you'll find us in Target with our core extra virgin olive oil, as well as our spicy flavored olive oil, which we haven't spoken about yet. We're also in the Fresh Market and in Harris Teeter in the Southeast regions.
Okay. But if you don't live near any of those places, it's a simple website, place your
Mhm.
order and go. And I will have a link that will have a discount. What are
Yeah,
some things we have not mentioned that you have available that we need to know about?
yeah. So we haven't spoken about our olives yet. Our olives are amazing. Most olives in the US are cured in a chemical called lye. Lye is sodium hydroxide. It's a very harsh chemical. It will actually
Make soap out
Yes,
of?
you use it to make soap. Yeah, and the reason people cure in lye is because you can cure olives in 4 days. Our olives cure in natural sea salt over 6 to 12 months. And when I found the producer in Greece that makes them this way, I got super excited because this is actually how my grandmother used to cure olives. She actually used to hang a bag of olives from our house into the sea and just leave them there for months. So they were literally curing in natural sea salt. And my farmers tell us, like, you Americans, you kill the olive. And it's true, we're stripping it of all the micronutrients. So when you cure and lye, you're stopping the fermentation process, so there's no probiotics, and you're removing all the polyphenols. Those olives that we talked about in the polyphenol content in those olives, it's all those polyphenols are being stripped. So you get a really delicious, very healthful, micronutrient dense olive with a naturally cured set.
Are they green and black, or are they all green?
We have 2 flavors of Kalamata olives, one spicy and one what we call our Greek herb, which is just our basic flavor, just has a hint of oregano and sea salt. And then we do have green olives as well, and those have a coriander and pink pepper flavor. And they're amazing. People say, like, these are the best olives I've ever tried.
So, Katina, do you think that some people who think they don't like olives just have not had an olive that was properly
For sure. And we
okay?
call them snacking olives. So they're actually dry packed. So they're not sitting in olive oil or brine. They're actually dry packed, and that actually helps preserve all those micronutrients that we talked about. And you can snack directly from the jar. You can pour them right into a salad or a charcuterie board.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Mhm.
That is amazing. And I'm very distraught to learn about the olives and lye.
Mhm.
That's I'm gonna be throwing some things out of the pantry when we
It's
had
not, there's no harm in it because the lye is washed off. You're just not getting the benefit of all the, great nutrients that you would be getting from a healthful olive.
would your olives be considered fermented?
Yes, they are fermented. Mhm.
So you can get your in place of or in addition to
In addition
sauerkraut,
to
kimchi, your olives, because I've never seen fermented olives. Okay, that is
No,
amazing.
yeah, I'm so glad you said that because I'm always trying to get fermented food into my diet, but I don't love kimchi. I don't eat
Mhm.
sauerkraut that regularly. And so olives are just such an easy way to get those probiotics in.
In addition to now, this are any of your vinegars fermented?
So I think all vinegar is naturally fermented.
Oh, okay.
Yes, all vinegar is naturally fermented. So we're big on fermented foods at Kosterina. And, this is just a part of the general traditional Mediterranean diet. And so we're really, building a wellness brand centered around the Mediterranean lifestyle. We're bringing some of these amazing ingredients to the forefront.
Well, do your children eat these olives? Do you just serve them as like on the plate as a garnish, or how do you get?
Yeah, actually, kids love our olives, which was a surprise to us. We didn't think about it. We get notes from moms all the time saying that they put them in snack boxes. I do the same. And it's just like such a better, healthier ingredient than all the ultra processed foods that our kids are being served in cafeterias and things like that. So, yeah, I love when we get these videos of kids eating our olives. It's the best.
That is wonderful. Anything else that we have not mentioned as far as products that we can get from you?
So the only other thing we haven't talked about is actually our skincare line. And so we have a full line of skincare products that leverage extra virgin olive oil for the antioxidant content and for the hydration benefits. And so, where this comes from is actually as a Greek kid, if something's wrong with your skin, your mom tells you to go put olive oil on it. And
Oh,
was prescribed in ancient times as an antiseptic, as a healing agent. The same way that it heals us on the inside, it does for our skin on the outside. Actually, in Greek culture, we baptize our babies in extra virgin olive oil. So it's, very core to the culture.
oh, so I'm assuming it's not a full submersion, it's a sprinkling.
Yeah, just a little sprinkling. They actually put it in
Oh,
the
I
baptismal water, but yes, just a sprinkling.
I love that. That is amazing.
Yeah.
So is there one product in your skincare line or more than one? Is it just a
We
moisture?
have a few. We have a face oil, a hydrating face oil, and a hydrating body oil. Our body oil is our best seller. People love it. It smells amazing. It's like a trip to the Mediterranean. We have a face moisturizer, which is more creamy. We've formulated that to be emulsifier free. All the products in our skincare line are super clean. We use the Credo definition of clean, and we've taken it even a step further on the moisturizer. So you may know that, that whole water and oil don't mix
Right.
thing.
Mhm.
The way that we usually companies will use emulsifiers to put that together, but emulsifiers can be hormone disruptors. They can actually damage the barrier of skin. And so it was really important to us to formulate without emulsifiers. And we were, super excited to be able to get to this formula. Actually took 4 years to develop this product, but a really beautiful cream moisturizer.
And is the website the only place you can get this currently? Your
Today, yes. We're also
okay.
in some dermatologist offices, but the website is the best place as of right now.
Okay.
And then I wish I had one in front of me, but I'm not finding it. Usually I have like 3 or 4 lying around, but we have an oil balm. So think about olive oil in stick form for lips or like under eyes or any dry spots. That's also, one of our best sellers on the skincare side. Actually, Kate Hudson posted a TikTok using it recently, and so we sold out, but we're
I get it.
back in stock very soon on that.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
amazing. Well, and I'm going to recommend to everyone to follow you all on Instagram to
Thank
keep
you.
up to date with
Mhm.
the latest happenings and then link to the website. I can't wait to get all the things I didn't even know about because
Yeah.
it is simply amazing. And as we wrap up, what are your projections for the next 5 years? Where would you like to see your brand go?
Well, we really want to be the brand that is trusted and stands for all things Mediterranean cuisine in the grocery store. And so,
Mhm.
today we're in olive oils, vinegars, olives, skincare. We also think that there are a number of different categories that can be improved through the use of olive oil instead of seed oils. And so some of the categories where we think we can improve the products in that category are things like baking mixes. You should never use canola oil. If you have it in your pantry, please throw it away. It's toxic to the body. So we want to teach people to bake with extra virgin olive oil. So think olive oil cake, olive oil cookies, olive oil brownies. We are interested in the granola space since there's a lot of seed oils in the making of granola, energy
Mhm.
bars, protein bars. There's really a lot that we could do. And so, as we think about the next several years, we'd really love to expand the offering for all things Mediterranean cuisine.
Well, it looks like now is the time because as we see, there is a Make America Healthy Again
Yes.
movement where people are focused on that and aware of it because I don't think many of us were aware at what was in our food and what was being done to our food. So I see that you're on the forefront and you give us so many good options because one trip to the grocery store and reading labels can leave one feeling very discouraged.
hmm
So it's nice to have a brand that you don't have to read the label, you know you're getting the best of the best.
It's so true. And just to plug one book, like we have no affiliation with her, but Dr. Casey Means,
Oh,
she actually
yes.
is part of, Make America Healthy Again, and that group that's really working for all Americans. She wrote a book called Good Energy, and I just cannot recommend it enough. I gifted it to our entire team, every friend and family I have, and just I have gotten a lot of great feedback that it's had people make real lifestyle changes, just learning
Mhm.
everything that she outlines in that book. So highly recommend.
I do too. And
Mhm.
also you can also watch a 2-hour episode where she breaks down a lot of that on a Tucker Carlson episode. I'll try to
Mhm.
link to the book and to that
Yes.
because shocking and eye-opening and enlightening, but
Yes,
it's great because we can all have a fresh start. So that's the
exactly. And
best thing.
now's the time.
Katina, I cannot thank you enough. This has been a wonderfully informative episode. And anytime you have new products, please let us know. You can jump back on because I would love to share. And I just appreciate your time so much.
Sure, Jamie, thank you for spreading the good word about good olive oil, for loving our products, and for sharing, all the information that we talked about today. So thank you.
Thank you, Katina. And as for the rest of you, until next time, you have a fabulous rest of your day. Hi, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the SavvyCast. If you'll take the time to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, that would mean so much. As always, thank you for listening and have a blessed day.